Hitler intended to destroy the Jews socially, legally, and economically by raising the Holocaust in order to achieve his goal of absolute control. The legislation limited the Jews politically even before the war by Nazis. Then, Hitler contemplated the plan of the Night of Christo as the start of the Holocaust. On that night, many Jews were arrested and many Jewish stores were looted. Jewish legal rights were limited by special identity cards with the right J marking their main characteristics. Then, Hitler became further intensified with the Jewish people by arresting them to the Nazi ghettos. However, Hitler was not satisfied. He then transferred the Jews to the concentration camp. In the camp, the Jews were forced into hard work and given little food and sleep. They wore unfitable prisoner uniforms and suffered from the tortures of the Nazis. The atrocious life in the camp killed millions of Jews, and thus the Belsen grave was full of naked, skinny, dead bodies. In the way of limiting Jewish power, Hitler built up his prestige and gained absolute control over German territories.
The political power of the Jews was limited even before the Holocaust period in order to enhance the Nazis' control over Germany. In the article Anti-Jewish Legislation in Pre-War Germany states, the first wave of legislation from 1933 to 1934 focused largely on limiting the participation of Jews in German public life. The first major law to curtail the rights of the Jewish citizens was the Law for the Registration of the Professional Civil Service of April 7, 1933, according to which Jewish and politically unreliable civil servants and employees were to be excluded from the state service. The new civil service law was the German authorities' first formation of the so-called Aryan paragraph, a kind of regulation used to exclude the Jews from organizations, professions, and other aspects of public life. The law limited the political rights of the Jewish people, and according to the law, it was illegal to participate in any organizations or events. It zoned the Jews as politically unreliable people, and they were not allowed to participate in any public events. Community service and state service were inaccessible for the Jews, and they were completely excluded from civilian life. When the legislation against the Jews, Hitler limited the Jews politically in order to get more political power for himself to control over Germany. The Night of Christo was a carefully planned event aiming to damage the economic situation of the Jews and plunder financial support for the armies. In a historian article, The Night of Broken Glass, it writes, "In 2 days, over 250 synagogues were burned, over 7,000 Jewish businesses were trashed and looted, and dozens of Jewish people were killed. The Jewish cemeteries, hospitals, schools, and homes were looted while police and the fire brigade stood by. The programs became known as Kristallnacht, the Night of Broken Glass, for the shattered glass from the store windows that still littered the streets. The Night of Broken Glass was just the start of the Holocaust. The Nazis looted the Jewish stores in order to destroy the economic state of the Jews, as well as gaining more financial support for their invasions. Not only stores they burned, Jewish cemeteries, hospitals, schools, and synagogues as well. They were trying to destroy every aspect of life for the Jewish people through planning the Night of Broken Glass. However, the harm was significantly towards and against the Jewish economy. The Nazis were limiting the economic circumstance of the Jews by law. They published laws that going against Jewish trades. With the further limitation of trading, the economy of the Jewish people were falling greatly. Hitler gained more economic control over Poland while the Jewish economic states were limited by the Nazis.
Nazis humiliated and restricted the legal rights of the Jews by putting a right J on their identity cards. During the Holocaust period, the Jews were collected and given special identities in order to tell their Jewish characteristics. The red J on their cards could bring them to death easily at any time. Some Jews who converted to Christianity or even only one of their family members was Jew were counted as Jewish people. They were humiliated by the red J and had to be ashamed by their own race. The ideas of racial superiority counted the Jews as subhuman, which means that they had no legal rights and deserved to be treated as animals. Hitler got more political control over Poland as he limited the legal rights of the Jewish people. The Nazis limited the living space of the Jews by sending over 3 million Jews to the Nazi ghettos. The book, A History of Western Society, illustrates. The German victory over Poland in 1939 brought some 3 million Jews under Nazi control. Jews living in German-occupied territories were soon forced to move into centralized urban areas known as ghettos. In ward-off districts in cities large and small, 2 of the most important were in Warsaw and Lodz. Hundreds of thousands of Polish Jews were forced to live in highly crowded and unsanitary conditions, without real work or adequate sustenance. Over 500,000 people died in Nazi ghettos. The Nazis took actions immediately towards the Jews when they invaded Poland. They controlled over 3 million Jews in Poland and intended to limit their living space by gathering them into ghettos. The Nazi ghettos are centralized urban areas with huge population density. The conditions of the Nazi ghettos were terrible. The Jews rarely had enough food to eat and were forced to do tremendous work. Their economic stands are limited as well, for they did not have an official occupation. In this way, the Jews were set as an example for people, and Hitler became the biggest winner. He gained more power and control over the German territory. Thus, through the action of the Holocaust, Hitler gained more reputation and control over the territory he invaded.
Hitler did absolutely everything to achieve his goal of absolute power and control. To strip the Jewish people of their identities as humans, Hitler orchestrated the making of hundreds upon hundreds of mass graves filled with the naked, skinny victims of the Holocaust, to prove that he had absolute control over the Jews, even after death. And this is only after he had kept them in the concentration camps from days to years with hardly any food, while working them to death and brutally murdering countless of them. In fact, over the period of time the Holocaust took place, over 11 million Jewish people died in the camps, not counting any war casualties or the countless other people that Hitler killed. Running a dictatorship like Hitler's was much harder than it looked. He had to win the support of the German people, earn his own followers and supporters, and then use them to terrorize the people to agreeing. Once Hitler took power from the German people and all of the Jews in Germany, there was not much stopping him from world domination.
The Holocaust was a massive slaughter of the Jews, which aiming to take over the absolute power in German territories. The Nazis legally forbade the political rights of the Jews even before the war. The Night of the Crystal was the first action that the Nazis took on Jews. It destroyed the Jews economically and socially. Additionally, the special identity cards with red J's limited the legal rights of the Jews as well. Jewish living space was limited, for they were sent into the ghettos to work and suffer. Their treatments were terrible, and tremendous of them died and were put in mass graves. In the end, after the freeing of the Jewish people in January of 1945, Hitler ended his life with his company inside a small, cramped bunker, just in time for the angry Russians to find him. And that was the end of Hitler's reign and terror, fueled race for world domination and his dream of the perfect